I think it's time for the American people to finally have that talk. With the most recent school shooting that just took place here in the United States in Minneapolis, I think it is time for the American people to lose their rights to own guns.
They haven't even buried them kids yet, and these propagandists are already like stoking up the fire. All right, let's start the tape, shall we?
What are you doing, Sparrow?
And here's the thing, you guys, you have to hear me out. Donald Trump and this current administration, they have been very adamant about how violent and deadly the United States of America currently is. They have already indicated the United States is more dangerous than Baghdad, Afghanistan, Mexico City, Panama, Venezuela, everything. The United States is more dangerous than third world countries when it comes.
It's always interesting whenever there's a shooting, right? A mass shooting. Technically depends on who's doing the shooting, because only mass shooting tends to get reported only when white people are doing it. Because when it's teen doing it, they call it just gang violence. If it's it's when black people are doing it, they call it gang violence or black on black crime. So these numbers don't really get reported, because then it would have to show that, hey, it's them niggas over here are crazy. But whenever there's whenever it gets reported, it's usually a white male. And now both sides play this game, right? If it's, let's say, an unhinged leftist, then you have the conservative media. It's actually pounce on it, say, see how deranged these lunatics are, these leftists, these blue hair demons, these transgender people, right? And then now then the conversation switch. It's not about taking away your guns. It's about these people have mental illnesses, right? That's what we need to focus on. And then you have on the other end, if I say that if it happens to be a white male and the politics haven't been revealed yet, if it happens to be, let's say, a Republican or whatever, right, or conservative, then all of a sudden, then the focus now is all about gun control, right? Unfortunately, a lot of time, people tend to jump the gun as soon as they realize, okay, that might benefit their political ideology. So if they see, let's say in the picture, they might even think it's a white man, then all of a sudden they push for gun control. But once it comes across that, oh no, it's someone of color. Like, for example, when there was a Syrian who actually did a mass shooting, and then when people thought he was a white man, then all of a sudden it was about gun control, gun control, gun control, gun control, and it turns out he was an immigrant. It's like, oh shit! So now the story disappeared, right? So it's so blatantly obvious that none of these people actually care about whatever's going on. It's all about a political punt, right? And like this guy right here, as soon as the kids haven't even buried yet, and all of a sudden he's talking about oh no, we need to take away guns, as if criminals definitely listen to you. Criminals definitely listen to the law when you say, okay, you're not allowed to have should I say gun-free zone, or you're not supposed to carry whatever. Oh yeah, criminals definitely gonna listen to the law and all that stuff. But anyways, let's let him continue real quick.
It comes down to violence, death, and mass shootings. I personally believe that if the American people truly feel more safe with the military patrolling the streets, then the American people should no longer own guns. Because here's the thing, you guys.
Oh my god. Listen, I don't own Pewpew yet. But yet, I'm not opposed to people owning firearm. This is the funny thing about it, right? They always talk about how many lives a gun take, right? But they don't talk about how many lives a gun save, because all these places, there's so many mass shooting that could have taken place, but it was stopped by someone who actually had a firearm on them and actually disarm or take down the subject, neutralize the subject that was about to commit this heinous crime.
This is freaking huge. Armed citizens stopped 48% of all criminal shooters last year, and the FBI was just caught massively lying about those numbers in their public reports. They recorded, get this, none of them. 0%. Now, you and I and everyone else have seen those local heroes on social media, but rarely do we ever see these stories in mainstream media. Well, the script is about to flip, because a new study by the Crime Prevention Research Center reveals that armed civilians stopped over 1,000 third of active criminal shooters between 2014 and 2024, nearly 10 times higher than FBI's reported 3.7% average. And again, with even more Americans getting armed post-2020, just last year alone in 2024, civilians stopped half of all criminal shooters. Yet, as I just stated, the FBI recorded 0 of them. You might be asking, how is this possible? Well, while digging for the study, researchers found that police were often falsely credited instead of the armed civilian, which is
A well-armed society is a polite one. Motherfuckers know that they're not gonna just run up on you with a pew-pew if they know that you might be packing. All the carjacking, all the home robbery, and like let's say people try to run up in school, and if they know that teachers are carrying, teachers are packing, teachers actually take firearm classes, and they're very well equipped, or they start having like let's say former military people post up in these facilities. Yeah, these idiots ain't gonna run up on people like this, try to harm small children, all that stuff, right? So it's all about a narrative. These people don't care about these kids that just got killed. No, they don't. They don't give a damn. Look at like this fool right here, like grown ass ginger talking about like we need to take away firearm. And where are you gonna be? How are you gonna protect your kids when they run up in your house if you have any kids? These people make me sick sometimes.
No matter how many rules and regulations you slap on guns and owning guns, it's not changing anything. It truly has not changed a single thing.
Yes, exactly. Or should we ban cars because we have drivers that are idiots on the road? It's so blatantly annoying when you see these people try to like a tool that's supposed to be used for self-defense, is supposed to be used for it's your goddamn given right, and yet they're trying so hard to just harm you because they want to be able, whenever there's riots, whenever there's people try to harm you or people try to come at you in groups or whatnot, you can't call Rittenhouse their house. Too soon? Okay, all right, too soon. But yeah.
All these rules and regulations that constantly get changed for gun control are not changing the outcome. The outcome is still there. School shootings, mass shootings, concerts, everything. There is still tragedy when it comes down to gun violence here in America than any other crime throughout this country.
Yes, because the rules don't apply to criminal. The rules only apply to citizens. Perfect example. A lot of these places that has the highest gun crimes are also the places that has the highest gun laws, strictest gun laws. So it just shows you that criminals don't care. They will find ways to actually obtain their firearm, and they will find a way to use them. And at the end of the day, the only people that suffers the most are those who are in a position where they can even protect themselves from lunatics. But anyway, let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. You know what it is. I'm your host, The Haitian. So share, like, comment, and subscribe. I'm out of here. Peace.